The mid-season trailer for Married to Medicine, the current season, is out. And bitch, I'm still packed. Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse podcast. This is Mr. Fox, the I Refuse podcast. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Just when I thought I could just bat an eye and move on to something else, the mid-season trailer for Married to Medicine, the current season, drops. And I was just like y'all. I thought, oh, okay, here we go. The last episode was Quad's last episode this season. There's talk that she won't be back for next season. But it looks like Quad won't be going out with a fight. And not only that, Quad is actually on the rest of the season in some capacity. So, last episode, the ladies, mainly Toya and Heavenly, ambushed Quad at the dinner table on the Napa Valley trip. Toya sat down with Jackie and Simone and Heavenly separately prior to the trip, saying, I got this thing coming up. Everybody's invited, should I invite, all this other stuff. And the little passive-aggressive stuff like, not getting her a room, didn't know she was coming. I didn't change or come on to a later flight because of her. I had kids and all this other stuff. We see through all the bullshit. As I've been a viewer of Married to Medicine since day one, they're essentially trying to do to Quad what they did to Mariah years ago, where it's all the accountability is on one person. It doesn't matter their role in Quad's defense mechanism, Quad not having a relationship with the ladies outside of film and not coming to hang out, and essentially feeling used. To some degree, to some capacity, you all have used Quad as a whipping dog, as a martyr, as a point of lashing out. Okay, yeah. Looking back, Quad did kind of put y'all to the side, I guess, in favor of her sister circle friends. But that was around the same time that y'all, anytime that she did come around, y'all would jump on it. Kind of like, well, pretty much what y'all been doing this season so far. But see, here's the thing. The icing out of Quad, because, I thought it was contrived. Because, she's not a good friend to y'all. The season so far without Quad, you got to think about it. The season so far without Quad, and I know that they've set this up editing-wise to focus more on the ladies and less on Quad. But so far, I've come to the consensus that love it or hate it, Quad's necessary to the show. Nobody cares that Simone is paying the apartment for her boys for 1 year. Nobody cares that, one is talking about being in film. We have yet to see any of that the last 2 or 3 years. Nobody cares about your two grown-ass sons and this game where you're trying to pretend like, oh, we're gonna send you out because you're not staying with us, but we're gonna pay for this apartment for a year. Jackie isn't really doing much. I mean, she's been showing up and being quiet and watching stuff happen for the last 3 seasons. Still being condescending, but slightly less in frequency in doing so. Toya, Nobody really cares about the sex talk with the boys. The whole kids thing that they're trying to do all of a sudden right now, focus more on the kids. It's like when you do, it's really not that interesting or exciting. You've had these kids 12 or 13 years. We don't really care at this point. And let's see. Yes, that's great that Alora's going off to college and, that whole scene was cute, but clearly the girl wants to get away from you. The boys don't really care. Don't really care about much of anything by way of the family life. And at this point, you've exhausted everything. I'm looking at all the ladies so far. Like, Toya has actually shown us the most. Heavenly is just playing her part to keep her position, provoking shit and then watching shit go up in flames and looking surprised at everybody else. Like, why y'all mad at me? But Heavenly without Mariah or, Quad, who both of these women can go toe to toe with you and show you what it is. Without Quad, a lot of y'all really wouldn't have a place on the show. Like, outside of Simone gearing up each time Quad comes around and jumping on Quad and then setting the tone for everybody else to also jump on Quad just like they did on Mariah. Y'all ain't showing nothing. Like, yeah, you almost got divorced. That was what, 3 or 4 seasons ago. Y'all tried to strong arm Contessa when y'all knew from jump how Contessa gets down. Made Heaven look like a damn fool. Contessa left the show, went and bought an entire medical facility that she owns outright, doing really well for herself. But see, that's the kind of stuff you would like to see on Married to Medicine, right? But after 10 or so years, what else y'all got? You got nothing, so you circle back around to trying to ice out Quad. And to add another nail to the coffin, you're trying to make her be the bad guy after we've all seen at this point you not only be buddy with the fiance and now wife of the man that physically harmed her and physically abused her, allegedly. Um, and both of them are equally culpable as to the demise of their marriage, but y'all were essentially working from jump, episode 1 of the season, to be buddy with this girl. In an extension, have Dr. G back in the fold. Now, Phaedra so far isn't doing much, but in the mid-season trailer, it looks like while she's not married to medicine, she's committed to it with doing the holistic thing. Like, she's dressed up like Miss Cleo now and beating people down with the straw and shit and claiming this is a place of peace. But outside of that, she's not giving much. It also looks like there is a moment where Quad, Dr. G, and Sweet Tea are in the same room, and Dr. G and Quad acknowledge each other, and I guess that's about it. But most improved had the most approved award goes to Sweet Tea, of course. At first, I was like some of y'all, where I was just like, this girl kind of comes off like a country bumpkin, fresh off of the covered wagon, dropped off in the middle of Atlanta with a potato sack of clothes tied to a wooden branch, saying gosh darn every goddamn second. But the tide for me turned when she came at Heavenly and let let slip that Heavenly has said that she hit her husband over the head with a frying pan. So I was like, okay, obviously you struck a nerve because I got Heavenly up out of her seat. And here's the thing, Heavenly participates in a lot of the discourse, right? And swears, oh, I'm just being honest. If you can't handle it, then why are you here for it? Yet when the shoe was on the other foot and she can't handle it, she gets loud and she walks off with that vein popping out of her neck. So technically, you can't handle it either. So what are we doing? So at this point, Heavenly gets pretty righteous, high on her high horse about a marriage that she ain't sharing much about, is very serious about not addressing, for the ladies, not to address Dr. Damon. Don't bring him into our situation. Don't bring him into our mess. Do not even talk to my husband. Um, my man's a good man and all this other stuff. I'm just here to say to Dr. Heavenly, don't get too comfortable. Because at the end of the day, at this point in the show, the strongest bond you have with the women at this point, pretty much the only bond you share with the rest of the ladies, is that y'all equally, I guess, do not have an emotional connection to Quad. And to some degree, Quad feels the same way. But that doesn't mean that they like you any better. Because your mouth is reckless. You don't stand 10 toes down in business on anything that you say or how you treat other people. And you can't handle it when you get your own medicine. Like the whole bullying antagonistic thing, you'll try who you think you can try. And even when it's clear that you shouldn't try a particular person, you still continue to poke. Like I said, Jackie ain't doing much. Sweet Tea is doing the damn thing like the runners do. In the mid-season trailer, she's coming at. Hopefully, I hope she's coming at Big Mo Curtis. Um, every once in a while, the husbands start to speak up. She says, "Oh well, you're in the hot seat." And I'm curious to know what project in the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico was Big Mo part of? A couple episodes ago, they had a big event and Jackie went on her own saying that Big Mo went to an island for a project. Big Mo is a high school basketball coach. Like, y'all international at the high school level? Just saying. So, I low key think he's still cheating on Jackie. And with that, the mid-season trailer also shows that Simone has an event for the ladies at the very venue that Curtis was cheating on Jackie at. So that throws Jackie completely off. And of course, there's Heavenly fanning the flames, inflating some shit. I just hope it's not. I hope the rest of the season is not a series of just quick moments to keep people's interest, only for them to go on to something else. Because, like I said, in totality at this point, nobody is really doing a whole lot. Like, if the biggest elephant in the room that's going to carry this season is that the ladies are trying to ice out Quad and Quad refuses to go, it's like y'all can do a little bit better than that. Hopefully, they finally let the other lady talk a little bit more. It looks like in the mid-season trailer that her and her husband, I believe they're both doctors. He is from old school African ways, very opinionated. That seems to be already rubbing the husbands and the wives the wrong way. He's hanging out with the guys saying, I'm not looking to have my balls cut off. Eugene says, so you think we don't have any balls? He was like, yeah, I don't think y'all do. So, of course, apparently Eugene runs that back to Toya. Toya brings it up to the wife at a girl outing. And she's like, he's very opinionated, just like you are. Toya was shocked. I'm like, it's all fun and games until people get the medicine that they put out. Now it's like, oh, I don't know where that came from. Well, here it is. So we'll see. I'm definitely packed. But I will say this before I leave about it here. As somebody that's been outside since the first season, Married to Medicine, I can definitely say that it's very interesting to me that, and I'm looking at Toya and Quad, very interesting to me how this, I'll say it's a contrived beef because you technically are arguing about a bunch of nothing, really. But I get it because Toya and Quad are very similar as far as their place in that world. Both of you, at one point for the majority of the show, were married to doctors. Toya is still married to Eugene. Of course, we know Quad has since left Dr. G in a very shady and chaotic way. Even took that man's sleep number bed. But Toya and Quad are equals in that matter, especially in the eyes of the other women who are doctors. But it's funny to me that Toya has all this energy to lead the ship against Quad. Because, A, you need Quad to keep shit interesting for you. B, you need something to do in the grand scheme of the show and, with your standing with the ladies. Because at the end of the day, it's like, no matter what you do or how much energy you put into going against one particular person in the group or multiple people, the other wives who are also doctors will never see it for you. They'll continue to never see it for you. Which is interesting because, and I'm looking at Simone and Jackie, because when I think of the main women who are wives, but also doctors, who in a way look down on the other women in the group, and it doesn't even matter whether they're just simply housewives or wives, also doctors, who are also married to other doctors. There's an air about them. Like they feel like there's no recourse for them. Don't even address me like you address other people. I said what I said. I'm not moving on it. And that's just what it is. So the way that Jackie and Simone look at Toya and Quad comes out in the way that they treat them and the way that they address them. Toya and Simone are good for right now. But let's not act like they didn't have a history of Simone just doesn't think Toya gets it. And Simone doesn't get that Toya is not one to play with, to control, to take power over. You're not going to do me like you do Cecil. You're not going to do me like you do your kids. But it's interesting that Jackie, condescending, passive aggressive, a quick, subtle shade. That's her thing, and they do it. They've done it. When I think of the history of the show at this point, more so towards Quad and Toya. Jackie does the eye roll. Jackie does the thing in the confessionals where she's like so over it. Why am I here? Why is she here with this cat? Just so over it. And what I'm saying is, it's funny that Jackie and Simone look down on Quad and Toya as women that have come up by marrying into medicine, like Curtis and Cecil didn't do the same. It's funny how it's staring you right in the face how similar they are, yet there's so much tension. It's like y'all could have possibly stood to get along better, but it's almost like a little sliver of hypocrisy and a double standard to some extent. Some of the wives that are doctors don't think the housewives are smart and that they get it. And it's like, where did that come from all of a sudden? Once Simone get a little cocktail in it's a wrap. Get a little cocktail in her. She wants to be the mouthpiece, the introductory mouthpiece, welcoming people back to the group. When she feels she's not getting what she wants, she snaps on people. When she wants, how she wants, what she wants, it's it's a problem. So I'm still locked in. I'm still locked into Married to Medicine, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I will say this: if this new wife, I believe she is a dentist or a podiatrist or something. That's the thing. Like, they had her in a couple of shots. Clearly, they had her mic down, and there was talk that she was input to the group to replace Quad. I don't know how true that is, but as you can see, Quad's still around. They're going to continue this ambush, I think, into the next season. And we'll see how that goes. I'll probably do another review towards the finale or the reunion. Because I've said in the comment section so far that this is definitely, again, another era of transformation for the show. They're kind of transitioning, trying to kind of reframe the show and kind of reframe the girl circle. But they got to be careful though. Like, at was it season 10, season 11? We have seen all that we need to see. This is we've seen yet another attempt at, this is an event for a business or a partnership that I'm trying to offset. It's like, how many times have we seen this across all the reality show franchises and not got like a product link, not got a SKU number, not got a website link? It's like, it's very much giving Joanne the scammer. So what else is there? You know, they say Phaedra isn't actually with that man with the emoji on his face. They say Quad goes to Africa every once in a while to get a man she can date. Heavenly was giving out all kinds of tea. Diary of the Mouth with Carlos King went back and told the rest of the cast what Quad had been saying in her negotiations when it came time to sign the contract for the new season, saying, why is so-and-so getting this much? She don't even do shit. And you know who we're talking about. And it's like, that makes sense. Big Mo cheated on you many seasons ago. We're not seeing much of The Office. We're not seeing anything outside of the ordinary that you haven't already shown us. Like, what else is there to do? And now you're trying to ice out the main event. But Quad has too much pride. She ain't going down without a fight. She's still here. But they had our asses for a while thinking, oh, they're going to ice her out midway through, and she's not going to be on the show the rest of the season, and she may not be returning for the new season. But as you can clearly see, she's still part of the show. It's anybody's guess what the direction will be the rest of the season. But nevertheless, I'm still locked in. Heavily might be should be more careful the rest of the season at being such a provocateur and starting some mess. Because you two also have a history. And you're not giving us much by way of your home life. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen the rest of this season, the next season, Heavenly and Dr. Damon will be the focus. A la something that backs up what Mariah said years ago. You want me to bring the receipts, baby girl? Because I got them. Don't do me. Look, just bring back Mariah. Just like, Heavenly needs something to do. And we need somebody up here that will pull the slip and watch the oh so perfect house and the oh so perfect marriage and the tight-lipped secrecy around the private life to start showing so we can see the real Heavenly and the real Damon. Because no way at 25, almost 30 years of being together, Dr. Damon doesn't slip out and start cussing motherfuckers out, including Heavenly. We perfect isn't fun. It's rather boring. And Heavenly has been skating by too long by stirring up some mess. Entertaining. She brings entertainment factor and she's naturally funny. But if y'all effectively completely ice out Quad, it's on the rest of the crew, the rest of the cast to step up. And so far they haven't been doing so well. But like I said, we're still locked in. Married to Master still got it going on 10 years in. The mid-season finale looks like they don't have any intentions of slowing down. Hopefully it's not another ploy like the ploy of Quad leaving or Quad being kicked off of the show. They tried to get us sold on, and we thought that was actually happening, but mid-season trailer debunked that theory. Still gonna be locked in. Might do another show review later on, sometime next year. Until then, get into the I Refuse podcast, wherever you get your podcasts and your music. Currently 5 seasons of the I Refuse podcast. We're on the 2nd season of The Usual Suspects. And season 2 of the I Refuse podcast After Dark is coming in January. Until then, you got the YouTube channel at I Refuse Podcast. The Twitter is the same at I Refuse Podcast. And so is the Instagram at I Refuse Podcast _ between the words. Till then, keep it locked, stay warm, stay hydrated, and mind your business. Peace. Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse